ISTC 767 IDD Final Project Presentation Poster. Here's our introduction. We'd like to say greetings to you. Roshan and I want to thank you for viewing our presentation. It was very challenging and hard work, but we have made it. We wanted to show you that who our client was, so we're telling you here that our client was the Pipeline Hazardous Material and Safety Administration, or PHMSA. This organization is a governmental agency that is responsible for developing and enforcing regulations for safe and reliable, environmentally sound operation. And it has about 2.6 million miles of pipeline transportation that it's responsible for. So our task was for the training and qualifications part. That department we assisted in its functions was to familiarize and design government. Its function is to familiarize and design government and industry personnel with the requirements of pipeline safety regulations. So we're supposed to help. They're supposed to help with education and federal and state inspectors, and they need to be in compliance for the requirements, inspection techniques, and enforcement of procedures. So we were solicited by the director of TQ, Dr. Doug White, to design and develop an introductory course for new inspectors and investigators who were also new hires, but they were varying backgrounds and pipeline experience. And so there would be 4 modules, but we were going to be responsible for designing the first introductory model in the series of courses. Now, the design and development part of it, the director let us know that he wanted, for uniformity's sake, the module and the curriculum that he wanted us to initially use ADDIE. But after talking it over with him, he did agree with us that SAM would probably be the better instructional design process. And our reasoning basically was that if we use SAM, it would be able to be flexible for the development of the learning and the training materials that account for possible mistakes at each step. That is often cleared up when you collaborate with a team. So the data that we collected was provided by the subject matter expert, or the SME, and that was the main reason that we felt SAM would probably be the best design process for us. As we continued on, we evaluated, and most of the new hires were of different age ranges, from early 20s to 50s. So many of the new hires, they did speak English, but some of the new hires' primary English language was Spanish. So even though they spoke English, their primary language was Spanish. And according to that data collected by the subject matter expert, or the SME, those results spoke of different varying experiences with pipelines. And the results were 30% were at advanced levels, 50% were at intermediate, and 20% at the entry level part when it came to their experience within the field. And our task was, how could we design and develop a course that would be able to satisfy our client, but not be able to be a huge bore to the students who have had the knowledge to take the course. So our goal was to make sure that those who were veterans would be able to take something away and valuable for the course, along with those who had no prior knowledge, or novices that were being introduced to pipelines for the first time. Our challenges and successes. Well, some of the major challenges that we ran into were that we were just trying to design a course that wasn't too elementary, as I said before, for the experienced investigators. But then at the same time, they had to be reintroduced to information that was cohesive with the new curriculum that the training and qualifications department wanted to be cohesively taught throughout the whole process. So the training and qualifications department made all of the employees, whether you had the experience or not, go through it just for that purpose. And so the successes obviously were that the course was accepted by the director and that the feedback was favorable, which is what any instructional designer wants. Some of the key terms that we had were head pressure, friction loss, line pressure, viscosity of liquid, pressure drop, and hydraulic gradient. And of course, none of us have ever heard of these terms before, but as instructional designers, we are going to be introduced to all types of, information that we may not be actually experts in, but we are to be able to regurgitate that information and make it make sense. This is one of the videos that we thought might be good in terms of just introducing to our students, and one of these videos was about friction loss, and this video is only about 3 minutes long, and we didn't really want the videos to be too long because obviously if they've already had knowledge of it, it could be more of a bore than anything. But then for those who are new, this would be a new introductory term, but it could also be engaging. And then finally, our reflection, we had a great experience with this. We got favorable results. The experience in doing this project did help Roshan and I to execute the learning theories along with the design processes that we have been learning, since we began our journey in graduate school. And it also helped us to practically assess the project by exchanging with the stakeholders, iterating, and just really how to properly implement the decided design process that we as instructional designers selected. So one of the things that we thought as we were discussing things, Roshan and I just felt like the instructional design program at Towson it tends to be geared for the K through 12, which is like solely for education in the schools. And even though that's a great thing, we kind of wish that they would have had another perspective or perhaps a stakeholder that's actually in instructional design that could have maybe taught us some things or had someone come in that was from more or less the private sector, since, not everybody is interested in K through 12. Roshan and I really, really enjoyed the learning process. We loved everything about our journey in the academics. We love just about anything about that, from reading to researching. Even the collaboration, really yielded a great camaraderie between us. We're glad to be finished, and we hope that you had a good glimpse of our project. Thank you so much.